And we do have one pitcher who's going to be coming back, hopefully relatively soon, and that's Shohei Ohtani. So I asked Mr. 69, the pitching guru, to look at it and tell us when he's going to come back, based on the fact that we need Shohei Ohtani to be 100% by the playoffs. So if there's no restrictions on Shohei Ohtani for game one of the playoffs, what's the timeline going backwards, David? Help us out here.
Okay, so one, yes, I sent that tweet out about the Dodgers. I don't know what's happening in the Dodgers organization. I don't want to speak to it. It could be just a run of bad luck, and that is perfectly fine, and that happens. But if I am in the front office of this Dodgers team and I am sitting there and I'm not running a full organizational try to check and try to find out what's happening, I am not doing my job. The Dodgers, while being one of the very best, if not the best organization at developing talent, we have given them this title over and over again, that they keep driving pitching development and keep bringing these guys up, and it is amazing. I ask you basically a question. If they were so great at pitching development, pitching talent, why are they all getting hurt? Why are they all consistently being on the IL? And this is something that frustrates me. Yamamoto right now, Sasaki, great job. You guys have been healthy with Sasaki. We'll see how that all plays out as the season goes. But almost every pitching prospect that they have brought out has not been able to stay healthy. We can look at Walker Buehler. He has had 2 Tommy Johns since he'd gotten drafted. We can go Dustin May has not been able to stay healthy for his career. Tony Gonsolin had just coming off an injury. And now we go to the rest of the list. The rest of the list starts getting crazy. I cannot, Tyler Glass now, I don't want to say the Dodgers did this. At the same time, he was a Dodger when he got hurt. Kyle Hurt, Clayton Kershaw. I know that's different. He's extremely old, and you can't blame it, the Dodgers, but at the same time, he did get hurt. I don't want to put him on this list. He's on a different list. River Ryan, Emmett Sheehan, Blake Snell, Gavin Stone. I mean, every single one of these aren't just little like ankle injuries. Tommy John, shoulder problems. We can go down to the bullpen. Gratterall, Grove, Kopech, Evan Phillips just went on the IL. Blake Trinan. I know some of these guys had some history stuff, but every Kopech one of these guys, what'd you say?
Kopech especially. You can't blame the Dodgers for Kopech.
At the same time, he came to the Dodgers healthy and then got hurt.
Okay, but you can say the same thing for Jacob deGrom when he went to to the Rangers. He had a history.
He had a Tommy John. Right, like Tommy John should be something you're fine with, and Tommy John should be something you within a couple of years you're totally fine.
Right,
like the next year back, like 2 years back or whatever, Kopech is hurt again with forearm. Yeah. That's not normal. That's not normal. What are they doing, or what are they allowing, or what's going on? Anyways, Shohei Ohtani, and you can't blame the Dodgers at all for Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, he signed him with Tommy John, which is the second Tommy John of his career already. At this point, it's kind of looking like they might need him. They might need him. You got Yamamoto, Sasaki, Dustin May, Gonsolin, and Knack right now in that rotation. Knack's a young guy coming up. Again, not young. He's 28, but he doesn't have a whole lot of service time. So when you look at Ohtani and say, how do we get him for the playoffs? If we want him ready for day one of the playoffs, which is, what is it?
The day after the end of the regular season?
Yeah, good job. One day after the regular season. September 30th would be his day one of playoffs. So I read some about his progress, about what people are expecting when they want him back. If you want him day one of the playoffs, and this actually works out to be on a very good every 5-day game schedule, so every day it would be 6 every now and then. If you started him actually the first day game back after the All-Star break, that puts him as the start for day one of the playoffs. It was almost perfect timing on a 5-day rotation. Again, there'll be 6 days in there. There'll be double headers and stuff like that. It is Dodgers, so there won't be any home double headers probably, right. But they're mostly on the road when you get on the East Coast during the summer. It just happens. That would also put him at 13 starts. And that is a perfect situation for me that is a perfect spot if you've been taking your time, taking extremely long to get ready and to come back. If you choose to put him on that mound, you get him for 13 starts and day one of the playoffs.
How do you manage his starts? For example, his first start after the All-Star break. How many pitches are you letting him throw?
So a couple interesting things about the All-Star break, and this is what I was thinking. He's going to be an All-Star. So that's not going to be a normal All-Star break for him. So he's not going to sit there and be able to throw a bullpen like everybody else, or rest and be ready and throw like his normal trajectory time. But actually, if it was a first game after the All-Star break, that might be perfect, where right before the All-Star break, you throw him in a simulated game and you get him building up. The hard part with Shohei Ohtani is you need simulated games. You need to build up his innings and his pitch count away from the field. And generally you do this in minor league stints.
Right.
But they won't be able to do that in minor league stints. He's a live pitcher in the big league. He's a live hitter in the big leagues. So you don't get to, he's not going down to the minors. So when we're talking about Blake Snell, let's say Blake Snell comes back and he's the normal injury coming back, he would throw every 5 days, every 6 days in the minor leagues and maybe different cities and build up his innings, go from a couple of innings down in the complex here in Glendale, Arizona. Then you go for 3 innings down somewhere else, 4 innings, 5 innings. You build up that pitch count. He's not going to be able to get to do that. You're going to kind of have to do it in the big leagues or before the game. So he's going to be throwing live BPs and like 50, 60 pitch live BPs, which is not normal, in the big leagues for rehab guys. So he's going to be really interesting to see how some of these games go. If he pitches see if he hits in games. He might take a day off or 2 every now and then for those days where he has to throw 3 innings before the game. I would not be surprised if you saw him in some some relief innings to start. Maybe if you come out July 18th, first game against the Brewers after the All-Star game, and see him coming out of the bullpen for 2-3 innings, or for a opener situation. Right. And that's the big thing, is you have him as that opener. You get him for 2 innings, 3 innings, a scheduled 3 inning start, and then you bring your normal starter in, or you have the relief bullpen day that day. But to me, you manage it like that. You start. I need to see him at least go 2 innings for that first outing, see how he does. Maybe 2 innings the next time, 3 innings, and then build up from there. And I'm expecting 15 pitches an inning, 15 less or less, 12 to 15 per inning. And I'm managing it like that. If I got 2 innings, I want 30. If I got 3 innings, I want 45. But you also kind of got to get those numbers too. So if he throws 2 innings and he's at 12 pitches, I might have to send him or send him down to the bullpen, send him back out for a third, or send him to the bullpen, because sometimes the innings count, because you're warming up, it's the up and down, which matter when you sit down for 15 minutes and then you have to get up and throw, or today's baseball where you're sitting down for like 5-8 minutes with these innings, how fast they are. Or send him down to the bullpen to finish his inning out down there.
Why don't you just make him the opener for Blake Snell, so that way Blake Snell can actually get to the 9th inning for once?
Right? He's done it once.
For twice. Sorry, my mistake. But look, he can't pitch 7-8 innings. He doesn't. So why don't you schedule it so that Ohtani goes on the same day as Blake Snell, and you're going to get at least a couple of innings in for Ohtani.
If he pitches again this year, yes.
Yeah. So your guesstimate, what you would do if you were the pitching coordinator with the Dodgers, would be game 1 after the All-Star break.
Game 1 after the All-Star break, I would like him on the mound as long as I can get my hands on him during that All-Star break, have him make sure he's throwing, and make sure he's throwing bullpens and it's controlled. The All-Star game is in Atlanta.
Is it? I never pay attention to the All-Star game.
I think so. I think it's in Atlanta this year. So that is, at least you can probably control that a little bit. That's the only hard part. But you send your own catcher down. You'll send your own like a bullpen catcher down.
It's the Dodgers. They'll build a stadium down there if they need to for Ohtani.
For him and he'll throw consistently if he has to down there. But he'll need to throw a bullpen before it, around the All-Star game or like the home run derby day, and be ready for the game, that first game for me. That's what I want.
You going to Vegas anytime soon?
Yes, sir.
can you go to the sports book and see if there's a way to bet on when Ohtani actually comes back? That might be like a good 1,000 to 1 shot money proposition. The exact day he comes
they'll
back.
Take the bet. I mean, they'll take any bet.
Of course they will. You should try to make some money off of that, bud.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.